Amid war threats from US President Donald Trump, an image emerging from Iran has confirmed a major shift in the country's military capabilities with the delivery of the first Russian Mi-28 Night Hunter attack helicopter, now visually verified on Iranian soil. The appearance of the aircraft marks the first time Russia has transferred one of its most capable modern combat aircraft to its southern neighbor, signaling a significant deepening of military cooperation between Moscow and Tehran at a time of escalating regional tensions. The helicopter was seen painted in Iranian armed forces colors, although it remains unclear whether the aircraft has been assigned to Iran's regular army aviation units or to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, both of which operate rotary wing platforms for combat missions. In November 2023, Iran's Deputy Defense Minister, Brigadier General Mehdi Farahi, publicly confirmed plans to induct both the Mi-28 attack helicopter and the Su-35 air superiority fighter into Iranian service, and those plans now appear to be moving from declaration to execution. Reports indicate that at least 3 Mi-28 helicopters have already arrived in Iran, although neither Tehran nor Russia has disclosed the full size of the order or the delivery schedule, leaving analysts to speculate on the scale of Iran's intended force expansion. The arrival of the Mi-28 represents a revolutionary upgrade for Iran's helicopter fleet, which, despite its size, remains heavily dependent on aging platforms supplied by the United States during the 1970s and rooted in Vietnam War-era technology. By contrast, the Mi-28 is one of the newest attack helicopter designs currently in service anywhere in the world, having been developed as a direct successor to the Soviet-era Mi-24 and positioned as a rough equivalent to the United States' AH-64 Apache. While Washington chose to modernize the Apache rather than pursue an entirely new attack helicopter program, Russia invested heavily in clean-sheet 21st-century designs, resulting in the Mi-28 and the Ka-52, both of which offer distinct advantages in survivability, sensors, and battlefield performance. The latest Mi-28 NM variant was first combat tested in Syria from 2016, where its performance reportedly played a decisive role in prompting Russia's defense ministry to sign contracts for nearly 100 additional aircraft by 2027. Upgrades to the platform include more powerful VK2500P engines, a measurable increase in speed, enhanced sensors providing all-round situational awareness, improved fire control systems, and expanded air-to-air engagement capabilities. Each Mi-28 can carry up to 16 anti-tank guided missiles or as many as 80 80mm rockets, and the aircraft is also noted for exceptional maneuverability, including the rare ability to fly backwards during combat operations. The aircraft's systems have since undergone intensive combat use in Ukraine, providing further real-world testing under high-intensity battlefield conditions and reinforcing its reputation as a frontline attack platform. Iranian forces are not familiar with the Mi-28, having previously operated alongside Russian units during joint deployments in Syria from 2015, where both countries supported Syrian government counter-insurgency operations. Iran also worked closely with Iraqi forces in the mid-2010s, a period during which Iraq operated its own Mi-28 helicopters, making Iraq and Algeria the only foreign users of the type until now. Although Iran had previously been expected to deploy Mi-28 helicopters to support Allied ground forces in Syria, that prospect ended with the overthrow of the Syrian government in December 2024 by Western, Turkish, and Israeli-backed Islamist paramilitary groups. as Iran now faces a significantly less favorable security environment, alongside a heightened risk of confrontation with the United States and its regional partners. The arrival of the Mi-28 appears aimed at strengthening domestic deterrence and battlefield resilience. For Tehran, the confirmed presence of the Night Hunter represents more than a hardware upgrade, as it signals a deliberate move to modernize combat capabilities and prepare for a more volatile and unpredictable regional security landscape.
Iran's highest-ranking military officer has issued a stark warning to the U.S., saying any miscalculation by the country's enemies will trigger a forceful response. Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Major General Abdulrahim Musavi, said Iran is fully prepared for confrontation and retaliation. Speaking on Monday, Musavi said Iran's servicemen fear no enemy and are ready to deliver what he called a decisive retaliatory slap. He claimed Iran has repeatedly defeated the United States, despite what he described as Washington's arrogance and aggression. Musavi pointed to recent unrest inside Iran, describing it as a complex, foreign-backed attempt to destabilize the country. He said U.S. and Israeli-supported networks tried to divert economic protests, but were countered by Iran's intelligence and security forces. Reflecting on nearly 5 decades since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Musavi warned Iran is not a nation that can be swallowed. He said reckless adversaries who refuse to learn will ultimately find themselves suffocated by Iran's power. Rejecting claims of a weak Iran, Musavi said critics are now being forced to retreat or face consequences. Referring to past conflicts, he said Iranians endured 8 years of war from 1980, and during the 12-day war last June, Iran thwarted what he called a 20-year U.S. and Israeli plan. Musavi warned that any future conflict would place American forces and allies across the region at risk. He said resistance forces would act to remove foreign presence if war were imposed on the Islamic Republic. Addressing threats of a naval blockade, he dismissed them as unrealistic, given Iran's geography and strength. Musavi revealed Iran has revised its defense doctrine, shifting to an offensive posture. He said future actions would be swift, sustained, and unpredictable, based on asymmetrical and crushing military strategies. Separately, Musavi praised Iran's intelligence services for disrupting espionage and terrorist networks. He said hostile plots had been exposed, leaving Iran's enemies defeated and humiliated.
Iran issues a stark warning to Washington. Tehran says if Iran is threatened, no one in the region will be safe. A senior Iranian military commander has issued a sharp warning to the United States, saying the Middle East cannot remain secure if Iran's safety is endangered. Qamars Haidari, deputy commander of Iran's Central Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters, said Tehran will never accept a situation where Iran is unsafe while others in the region are secure. Haidari warned that if Washington threatens Iran's security, countries supporting the United States, including Israel, would also lose security. He said such forces would be defeated and pushed out of the region, underscoring Iran's readiness to respond with force. The Iranian commander also urged the United States to act wisely, saying it is in America's interest to behave rationally toward Tehran. He warned that any miscalculation would trigger a harsh and regret-inducing response. The remarks come amid heightened tensions between Iran, the United States, and Israel, as military posturing and warnings continue to escalate across the region. Meanwhile, a diplomatic shift from Tehran amid rising war fears. Iran orders talks with the U.S., even as tensions escalate. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has ordered the resumption of nuclear talks with the United States, signaling a possible diplomatic opening amid mounting regional tensions. Iranian news agency Fars quoted a government source confirming that Tehran has decided to open negotiations with Washington on the nuclear file, though no timeline for the talks has been announced. The move comes just hours after Iran's foreign ministry said it was finalizing the framework and methodology for negotiations, with officials indicating preparations are nearing completion. The diplomatic push comes against the backdrop of soaring Iran-US tensions and deepening unrest inside Iran. Widespread protests have erupted across the country, fueled by worsening economic conditions, with thousands reportedly killed in the unrest. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued repeated warnings to Tehran, saying time is running out as Washington ramps up its military presence in the region. Despite the buildup, it remains unclear whether the United States is preparing for direct military action against Iran. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has warned Washington against any attack, saying it would ignite a wider regional war in the Middle East. Khamenei has also described the ongoing protests as a coup, alleging foreign interference behind the unrest. As diplomacy and confrontation unfold in parallel, the region now watches closely to see whether talks can defuse a crisis or if tensions will continue to spiral.